Hello everyone, I am the Wastelander, and in this video we're going to explore some of the freakiest places in Fallout New Vegas. Now, I know the word freaky is kind of vague, and to be more specific, these are locations that are creepy, eerie, liminal, or any word like that. Since it's now October, I thought it would be fun to revisit these locations in my favorite Fallout game. And with that, let's head to our first spot. We gotta stop by and say hi to Indy. Feels great to be back playing New Vegas. I haven't played this game in probably a couple years, honestly. Still one of my most played games ever. I used to play it a ton when I was a kid, but then a couple years back I went through and got every single trophy, even for the DLCs. It really wasn't that bad either. I'll say the worst one was definitely learning how to play Caravan and then winning 30 games. Once I figured it out, it was pretty fun, but learning was quite a process. I feel like Fallout's more fair with its trophies than some of the other game franchises that I like. I tried to get the platinum for Red Dead 2, and literally it took so long. I think I still needed to find like 2 more animals, and I was like, I just can't do it anymore. I gotta play something else. I did get the platinum for Red Dead 1, and that took a while too. Mainly the online mode, which was surprisingly really fun. There was the one where you had to get 8 people in your posse, and honestly it was just luck, and I got lucky. And then the other one that took a while was getting to level 50, which was literally just a grind for like hours and hours. I just went to Pikes Canyon, cleared it out, and then I'd go back to Hanging Rock, and that would reset the location, and I would do it all over again. Anyways, I'm probably getting off subject. The guns in this game feel so much better than Fallout 3. You can actually aim down the sights. No hate on Fallout 3. Oh no, he's here already. We had to. There was no other way. Imagine developing a game this cool in 18 months. Oh wait. What is that? Did you see that? Am I tripping out? Scary. And we're almost there. We had to start out with the classic. Here comes that goofy mofo.
Yeah! Who won the lottery? I did!
Sorry. And we've reached our first location of Nipton. Now, Oliver there was so excited because he was the lottery winner. He was the only one who survived unharmed. So what exactly happened here? Well, the Legion took over, and they started a lottery. And how it worked was every Nipton resident got a lottery ticket, which decided their fate. The winner was allowed to leave, and then second place was severely beaten. And then the rest of the residents, well, they didn't make it, and the town was destroyed. Some of them were unlucky enough to be crucified, like this Mohawk guy right here. The really interesting part about this is likely the first time you'll run into the Legion in New Vegas, which really sets the tone for how their faction is. So let's go talk to them.
Don't worry. I won't have you lashed to a cross like the rest of these degenerates.
The whole scene itself is pretty freaky. The brutality of the Legion can be seen here for sure. I think just the scene of people being crucified in the streets definitely shows the horrors of the wasteland. Going inside of one of the houses, we can see meals were laid out, the table was set, but then the Legion arrived, and now there's no one left. There's also a Star Wars reference here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is supposed to be Luke's aunt and uncle. And with that, we can say goodbye to Nipton and head to the next location. Might be a tough way to go there, guys. Might have to go around. That's foreshadowing. And as I walk to the next location, I just wanted to say that if you like videos about Fallout, please feel free to subscribe. I've got some good videos coming up, and I think you'd like them. I actually have to do plenty of looting this run. You got to get ready. Some of these later locations are going to be kind of tough. And we are here. I always liked how RepCon was kind of tucked away in this little valley. New Vegas does a good job of kind of hiding certain locations, like one of the ones we're going to go to here soon. Now, RepCon is full of ghouls, but this really isn't the section of the building that's freaky. That comes later. It's actually a really good location for loot. All these guys have energy weapons. Here's the really scary part. Cubicles. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's actually the RepCon basement. Now, like any abandoned location in a Fallout game, it's kind of eerie, kind of liminal, but what's freaky about this place specifically is the enemies that you can't see. This place is also just noticeably really dark. Like that right there. Did you see it? Right there. There they are. The jump scare. I'm definitely going to die. They got me cornered. Watch this. Yes, keep running after me. It will work. Oh man, one more. Sorry, bud. It didn't even kill him. There we go. So yeah, what's freaky about this place is the Nipton. They're all using stealth boys, which makes them really hard to spot. So in this location, they pretty much come out of nowhere and attack you. And I got a little jump scared there, no lie. I'm not afraid to admit it. There's one of their stealth boys there, and we'll take that. Might come in handy later. Oh. They run so fast, too. Like for no reason. About to turn that corner so fast. The reach is crazy. Such cool enemies. Definitely one of the best in New Vegas. Poor guy. Can't even flip over the table. These guys are pretty tough too. There we go. There's also this room of junk down here, which is really nice to find if you're ever trying to create anything in this game. But yeah, that's the RepCon basement. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of what this location is like. The Nipton are really cool enemies, and they definitely make this location notable. Well, let's go ahead and get out of here and head to the next spot. And we have arrived. This is Matthew's Animal Husbandry Farm, right outside of Camp Searchlight. On the surface, it seems pretty normal. There's some Brahmin and some bighorners over here, and over here as well. And a couple of barns with some more animals in them. And in one of the barns we can find the Wasteland Survival Guide. So it looks like the Lone Wanderer and Cannon did a pretty good job. But when we look a little further, we can see that these animals are malnourished. So there's no one taking care of them. And we can see the house that was once here looks to be destroyed or burned to the ground. And we can look around and find some diary entries, with the last one being right here next to a skeleton. In reading this entry, it says, "Dear Diary, the animals, they are evil. They tried to eat me in my sleep. They want the farm for themselves. Now that Mom and Dad are gone, they want the farm for themselves. They are plotting against me, plotting to eat me. They're becoming ghouls, like my parents, and they want to eat me like my parents did. Too many of them to kill them all. I know what I'll do. I'll burn the house down around me. Then the animals can't eat me because there will be nothing left for them to eat." A pretty insane note to find. And also, how is that here if the house burned down? But anyways, what happened here is a tragic tale. And to summarize, Caesar's Legion attacked Camp Searchlight, turning this kid's two parents into ghouls. And now they're buried here. The kid was forced into self-defense, and he was actually the one who had to take the lives of his two ghoulified parents. And in their absence, the kid went paranoid. He lost it. This isolation really got to him. He thought the animals were out to get him. And in that paranoia, he burned the house down around him, leaving it as we find it today. What I really like about this location is it seems so normal on the surface, but when you dig a little deeper, the story behind it is really quite unsettling. And that's what I love once again about these little locations you can find throughout Fallout games. No main quest brings you here. You have to go out and find this yourself. And the story found is just another example of what can happen in this wasteland. And that'll wrap up the story of Matthew's Animal Husbandry Farm. And with that, we can head on to the next location. This gun sounds like an Iron Man blast when you reload it. Watch. I can't believe I just said this gun. It's that gun. Embarrassing. And this will be the first vault in today's video. And we're immediately greeted by 3 skeletons. Oh, sorry, 4 skeletons by the door. And that's how we know we're in for a good time. Now, just like any vault in this game series, shady stuff was going on in Vault 11. There's always some type of experiment going on unknowing to the residents. And in this one specifically, the experiment is quite dark. And I'll tell you why. In a way, it all starts with these campaign posters we're seeing on the wall right now. Glover has done nothing wrong, vote for Stone. Haley is a known adulterer and communist sympathizer. Elect Haley for overseer. I hate Kate. Now these seem a little opposite, right? It's not saying vote for me. It's saying vote for this person. So that leaves us to wonder, why is that? Well, that's because of the experiment here. How it goes is Vault 11 forced its residents to annually vote for one person to be sacrificed to keep the vault running, which explains the campaign posters. The experiment was basically designed to see how long people would continue following such rules before they just rebelled against it and stopped doing it. And the sad part about it is these residents did it for years. They sacrificed a lot of people before finally they said, hey man, this isn't cool. We gotta stop doing this. But by that time, it was already kinda too late. Only a few remained at that point. And when they discovered that the system was just testing their morality, pretty much everyone was gone. And this showcases another pretty horrifying experiment that Vault-Tec was putting on people. Now, had these residents realized this was just a test early on, then this vault might still be functional. But knowing this backstory, it makes exploring this vault that much more creepy, knowing that it could have been filled with residents. But now, there's no one left. There's also this green goo leaking out of these pipes right here, which probably didn't help the situation. But anyway, that about covers the lore for Vault 111. Definitely one of the creepiest places in this game. Not necessarily on the surface, but getting into the lore, it's once again pretty dark stuff. Now let's head back into the waste and go south. And here we are, Searchlight Airport. You think I can hit those rad scorpions from here with this? Let's try it. No way. And we can enter this little tunnel to get inside. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably thinking, Wastelander, my guy, my friend. There's nothing here. It's just an empty airport. And that is the exact reason why it's an eerie location. This place is so liminal. Feels like there should be something going on, but there's nothing. Not at all. There's just a couple rad scorpions, who I almost just died to. It's just empty. There are these couple of buildings back here, which this one here just has a couple planes out front. You can't get inside. There are these trunks over here, which have some caps in them. That's nice. Actually, a lot of caps. And then you have this tower here, which you also can't get inside. It's just so liminal. Just the way it drops off over there. Never mind, the game was just loading in. But still, to me, it seems like Obsidian probably wanted to do more with this location, but just didn't. Probably didn't have the time. So now it's just kind of a shell of a location. There's a couple enemies, those two trunks, and just a lot of empty runway. But yeah, just to summarize, it's a liminal location, and I really like that. Let's go ahead and head to our next location, which isn't too far away. And as we approach Camp Searchlight, we see the color of the sky start to change and it gets a bit more foggy. And we can see the hazard signs ahead. And a couple steps forward, we start to take on radiation. So let's use the one Rad-X we have. And up ahead, we see a couple enemies and they're ghoul troopers, not just regular feral ghouls. And as we enter the middle of the town, we start to take on even more radiation. And it seems to be a totally abandoned location. Let's go check out this church over here. And we can find a cellar door to Searchlight NCR storage. And we keep taking radiation. Walking back outside and looking down the main road through the town, we can ask ourselves, what exactly happened here? Well, just like Nipton, this is a result of an attack from Caesar's Legion. They set off radiation bombs here, and it's pretty much made the town uninhabitable. This place just has a crazy vibe to it. They put on the Fallout 3 filter, and it totally changed the atmosphere. Camp Searchlight is another example of the Legion doing something horrible in the wasteland, and tons of people suffer because of it. And the NCR troops that were here are ghoulified now, which explains these ghouls having NCR armor. It seems to be a little too late for this town. This is another place that's super liminal, especially after all the enemies are cleared out. If there was no radiation, this would be a perfectly normal settlement. But because of Caesar's Legion, once again, this place is a ghost town. Also, one of my favorite unique weapons is in that building there. And that's pretty much it for Camp Searchlight. I should probably head out of here before I die of radiation poisoning. We'll go heal up and then head to the next location. New Vegas looks so cool at night. Pretty sure it was designed that way to kind of be seen from anywhere on the map. Alright, let me show you somewhere that just doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't say it's freaky. So, pretty tiny place, right? Maybe like 100 square feet, little 10 by 10. Let's go inside. Place is massive. Anyway, definitely a unique location. You all ever done a speed run on New Vegas? I tried it once, and I think I got like an hour and 22 minutes or something like that. I didn't really have a plan going into it, but I knew the Yes Man ending was pretty easy to get through. Speedrunning in general is just super interesting. People dedicate a lot of time to it, and it really gets down to the small details. Like if something saves you 3 or 4 seconds, then that's what you need to do every time. And the more of those you can find, of course, less time it takes to beat the game. I know I've watched speedruns of Fallout 3 and New Vegas, but the Fallout 3 one's really cool. I think there's this part where you get into Vault 87 and you like clip out of bounds and then you're kind of falling through the void and finding different doors. And I thought that was pretty sick. And in New Vegas, there's that way you can like launch yourself across the map to save a ton of time. Because really the biggest issue with speedrunning New Vegas would just be walking across the map. But I guess that's the case with any game that's open world. I really hope those Cazadors don't see me. Oh, they definitely see me. Dude, forget about it. Cazadors, hardest enemy in this game. Would it be crazy to use a stealth boy? I don't think it is. Anyways, we have made our way to Vault 22. Definitely one of my personal favorite locations in this game when it comes to being kind of freaky. And as we can see from that sign, it says stay out, the plants kill. And we can turn to our right and see all the foliage, and it is so green. Just this shot right here is so cool. The leaves on that tree blowing in the wind in the background. Definitely one of the most unique vaults in this game. let's head inside. So besides the plants growing everywhere, what's creepy about this vault? Well, of course, Vault Tech ran another experiment here, and in this one specifically, the vault housed scientists who were studying plants and trying to find a way to end world hunger. And while trying to do that, they created extremely aggressive spore-producing plants that mutated out of control. Eventually, these spores infected humans, turning them into essentially monsters. Plant-based monsters. And by the time we get here in the game, the entire vault is overran with them. There is a quest that sends us here from the NCR, where a scientist over in Camp McCarran wants us to look deeper into the experiments here and share it with him, which honestly, if the spores grew out from this place and expanded across the wasteland, that could potentially be another apocalypse. But outside of the lore, this vault definitely has a very unique look with the plants everywhere, but these guys, you've probably seen them moving around in the background, these spore creatures. These guys will definitely jump scare you. Because I know the first time I came here, I walked right past them and didn't realize they were there. And they definitely snuck up on me. Now I can see one there, one over there, one back there. And I thought I saw another one over here. Yeah, there he is moving. And they blend in really well. And these, of course, are former humans. They hit kind of hard. Oh my god, he jumped so high. Alright, we might actually, we're just going to kill this one and probably head out of here. Those guys are a lot tougher than I remember. This is honestly what I really like about New Vegas. Adding in a new creature like this, a new enemy, it's so unique. You know what, I was about to talk bad on Bethesda, but I'm going to be positive. Anyway, this vault is definitely pretty creepy, knowing the experiment that has gone on here, and then finding the results of it in these spore creatures. And just like the Nipton did in RepCon, they really jump scare you and come out of nowhere. And with that, we can head out of this vault and actually head out of the map, as the next couple locations are held within DLCs. This is not an uncommon opinion by any means, but man, the DLCs in this game are just excellent. Every single one of them are good. Pretty much the same way as I feel about Fallout 3. I love those DLCs. Now Fallout 4, a little bit of a different story. Now let's enter Old World Blues. About to sit through an hour of dialogue. I feel like Old World Blues is like the most science fiction this game gets. Or I guess out of most of the Fallout games. Now we've reached the Cuckoo's Nest. And out front we can see 3 graves. Bro has 1 foot in the grave. And there's also this cage over here which has a pillow in it, which makes me think one of these lobotomites was sleeping in it. And speaking of lobotomites, this is where they live. And they've had lobotomies performed on them by the scientists in Big Mountain. So they're barely there, which is really sad because a lot of them are probably just regular people. And now they live in this cave, which has these black candles, a little shrine to this holotape for the toaster. We'll take that. Or toasters, I guess. And this fridge full of bodies. There's a lot of gore in here. And we can find test subject 1. The first lobotomite. And there's a surgical table over here with a bone saw. And then these little dolls hanging here. Very creepy. And they held up the roof to this cage with a couple of bombs here. I guess it worked. Nice little A-frame here. The scientists in Big Mountain are pretty evil people for what they've done to these folks. Reducing them to barely being able to function and living in a cave. It's a pretty gory and rough place. I think it kind of gives an insight to what these lobotomites are up to on a daily basis. Just the mask is really creepy. It's one of the spookiest places I'd say in Old World Blues for sure. And with that, we can head out and go to our final location. And there it is, just a little hole in the ground. So this location itself, the Abandoned Brotherhood of Steel Bunker, is pretty freaky. The lighting in here is really great. Look at that shot and that guy over there. Oh, and the Sura Madre. And let's start the Dead Money DLC. I just broke up.
Are you listening?
And this is it, our final location. I would almost say the entire DLC. It's all really eerie, just has a really unsettling atmosphere. Look at the clouds up there. Feels very post-apocalyptic, which it is, but specifically here, something really unique. I'd say just the hologram there, it's kind of spooky, especially of Elijah. He's such a freak and a weirdo. But this whole village, the way the streets snake through, feels very claustrophobic. The atmosphere here, definitely one of the better ones, at least within the DLCs. But the creepiest part is around this corner to the left. The ghost people. I mean, look at this dude. Whoa. Forgot they could jump like that. The way this guy moves. It's like something out of a horror movie, where they jump and then sprint at you. Just the way he's walking. One of the most unnerving enemies for sure. That noise he makes. Yeah, there he goes. And the fact these used to be just regular people, got sealed inside of their suits and mutated. Now they're cursed to just roam around these streets. And the only way to get rid of them, well, is a headshot, of course. If you just shoot them in their body and they go down, they'll get back up. And you can actually find this suit in Old World Blues, but it has this low light vision effect, which I don't really like. Then we can see the cloud up there, which damages us, of course. Adds another layer to this area. See, if I stood right here, I would die. So I'm going to back up. I don't know if there's really anywhere specific in this DLC that's more creepy than the other areas, but I really like this village, making it one of the freakiest places in Fallout New Vegas. And that's pretty much all the locations I wanted to cover in this video. I'm sure there's plenty more, and feel free to let me know what they are. I could definitely make a part 2. And I guess I'll go ahead and sign off from here. I appreciate you watching the video. Feel free to let me know if you liked it. And the next one I plan on posting will be about Fallout 4. So I hope to see you then. Once again, thanks for watching. I hope you have a good one. Bye now.